Creating a course plan. Now let's dig into starting your course plan. You will need access to your Google Drive developer packet that was shared with you by your instructional designer. Recall that this packet contains handouts as well as live documents that you and your designer can edit in real time with automatic saving. Find the file named Course Content Planner. This is a spreadsheet in which you will plot the overall design of your course's content. The Center for Teaching, Learning, and Online Education has developed 3 course content planner templates based on a schedule a course is delivered: 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and 16 weeks. This spreadsheet helps faculty and designers track learning objectives, instructional materials, assessment, and Carnegie hours in one location. Here's a detailed view of a completed course content planner. You can also access this example in your course content planner. Look for the tab at the bottom labeled Example Course. The first section is the course title and number. The course learning objectives are inserted here. Remember, these objectives apply to the entire course, so the rows are extended across all modules. The learning objectives are specific to the module topics, and thus are inserted into individual columns only. Note that each MLO supports one or more CLOs, which are also included in parentheses to help track alignment, which is a key component of meeting Quality Matters standards. The next sections are related to content. If a book is assigned, the title and chapters are inserted here. Remember that the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Online Education encourages you to explore open educational resources, also known as OERs, that are free and accessible rather than paid publisher books. Using OERs extends the shelf life of courses, reducing the need to frequently refresh. In this course content planner example, the OER is hyperlinked to a digital textbook. Articles and additional readings are inserted here. The hyperlinked items act as a bookmark for content you wish to use in your course. The unhyperlinked items are the titles of the reading sections that will be created in the learning management system. The Center for Teaching, Learning, and Online Education encourages you to use academic articles hosted in West Liberty University's library subscriptions. This creates demand for financial support for journals and databases, since a plethora of content is only available through paywalls. If you need assistance finding or accessing articles, your instructional designer and library staff are happy to help. Assignments are inserted in this section. Note these are simply titles of assignments, but not the specific details yet. In this example, students write blog entries and create a final plan. The expected criteria for each of these assignments will be laid out in a different document. Remember, this is still the planning stage. Readings and assignments are activities that students complete outside of class. In a traditional face-to-face class modality, students would not come to class to read or do homework. Therefore, outside indicates time that is not scheduled. This in-class, out-of-class concept is often misconstrued in online and hybrid courses, since students are working independently for the duration of the course. Recall that Carnegie hours are based on students doing twice as much work outside of class as they are in class for each course credit. The next section are activities considered in class time. In a traditional face-to-face class modality, these are things students would do during scheduled class time. Many instructors record their in-class presentations to use in online and hybrid courses. Links to video and podcast are inserted here. Note that videos hosted on YouTube and podcasts hosted in apps like Spotify embed quite nicely in learning management systems, so students can view them on their module page rather than opening a new location to access them. Discussions that would happen verbally in class are transferred to text in the Discussions tool, and topics are inserted here. Students can write, hyperlink, and attach files in this tool to replicate presenting evidence in a verbal discussion. Embedded activities are small learning management system features that can be inserted directly after an activity to replicate asking questions or raising hands to make a comment in a live class as formative assessments. The Comments tool can also be used as a way for students to pick topics or select classmates for a group activity in online and hybrid courses. Note the Comments tool is different from the Discussions tool in that there is no back and forth communication. Lastly, summative assessments like quizzes and exams are inserted here. To keep track of estimated in-class, out-of-class minutes, each module has a column. These columns are numbers that indicate the estimated minutes it should take the average student to complete each task. These columns have a built-in spreadsheet formula that keeps a running total at the bottom. In this example, Module 7 estimates the 4 readings and will take 5 minutes, 240 minutes, 30 minutes, and 180 minutes respectively. There are also assignments, discussions, and embedded activities for Module 7, totaling 796 minutes. Notice there is a second row named Instructional Only. This number is calculating the sum of the in-class work only, while the total Carnegie hours row is calculating the entire module. Another built-in formula is calculating the total minutes for the entire course in the far bottom right cells. The goal of a 3-credit hour course is to have 6,750 minutes of total Carnegie time, while at least 2,250 of those minutes are instructional in-class time regardless of format. 6, 8, or 16 weeks, face-to-face, hybrid, online, undergraduate, graduate, and doctorate. These total estimates are adjusted for courses that are of differing credit hours. Earlier in this training, we discussed the need to have measurable learning objectives. Now we will examine a formula to do so. Begin with the course code and title. In this example, we are writing a CLO for a beginning level English course that will be Objective 3. The action verbs taken from Bloom's taxonomy are identify and create. Then we will apply a subject for these verbs. In this case, it'll be writing elements. Lastly, we will lay out conditions for the verbs and context to happen. Here we state the writing elements as being a thesis, transitions, conclusions, etc. In summary, what we are expecting students to do is identify what a thesis is and create their own, or identify what a conclusion in writing is and write their own. The red and green chart compares a good learning objective to a poor learning objective. The vague objective uses the phrase, be aware, which is difficult to measure. Using the subject relationship does not clarify what about the relationship we are focusing on. The suggested fix for this objective is to use a measurable verb, such as describe, and the phrase interaction of a specific events with the condition of disease states and pharmacological approaches. Here we are asking students to discuss how disease states and pharmaceuticals interact, which is a specific measurable objective rather than judging someone's awareness. You will evaluate all of your CLOs for your course and insert them in the applicable rows of your course content planner. After you have identified your CLOs, you can create module learning objectives that support them. Continuing the example about disease interactions, a more specific objective for Module 10 is to focus on a topic. In this case, it is hormone dysfunctions. The verb is explain, while the subject is medical approaches, and the condition is hormone dysfunctions. What students are asked to do is discuss a very specific subject and event. Before you can write all of the MLOs for your course, you will need to identify the general topics and the modules in which they will be taught. At this point, you know the schedule of your course, 6, 8, or 16 weeks. This determines how many packages of lessons you will create. You are strongly advised to not create module topics based solely on a publisher's textbook chapters. Publishers frequently update, edit, and rearrange chapters. By focusing on topics instead of chapters, it is easier to curate instructional materials from a variety of sources. The old adage, don't put all your eggs in one basket, applies here. The reasoning behind this is to extend the shelf life of a course despite if an instructional source becomes unavailable. The examples shown here are topics for modules from 3 different courses: undergraduate, graduate, and doctorate. You will need to put topic ideas in your course content planner before finishing your MLOs. At this point, you do not need to finalize the module titles. This is still the planning stage.